You are listening to one of the most prolific podcasts. I'm Caleb.
It's your boy DT.
And I'm Ken.
We are the Mind Report. Here to push your mind and change your thoughts.
Oh man, it feels good to be alive right now. I'm in this full gratitude, and I'm just thankful to be here right now in the presence of these amazing young brothers. I just want to start it off with gratitude. For you guys who don't know me, my name is Caleb.
I'm Ken.
And I'm DT.
And we are the Mind Report. So DT, I want to ask you, what's going to be the topic of the day?
Man, today is very exciting. It's the second Right Table interview, and the person that I'm bringing up every time I talk to her is nothing but inspiration. I take a lot from her, and hopefully she take a lot from me too. She is one of the up-and-coming stars. I'm not even going to say in Jacksonville. I'm just going to say everywhere. Right. We already speaking it right now. Okay. So without further ado, I just want to bring to everybody that's listening right now the oh-so-talented Miss Kearsten Monielle.
You definitely kind of butchered it. It's okay. It's Kearsten Monielle. My sister's name is Kristen, though, so it's okay. But hey, how are y'all doing?
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself for the people who don't know who Miss Monielle is.
Well, this is questions I never get asked. So Kearsten Monielle is a very simple person. I spend most of my days with my daughter and in my music. That's my happy element. I'm a new up-and-coming artist, like he said, like DC said, in the world. I'm not just going to say Jacksonville because it's just too small here. But I just love my music. Music is my passion, and I'm getting ready to release a full project and also my single. So I'm really hoping that everybody loves it just as much as I do.
Okay. All right. Straight to the point. She went for the juggler on that one.
Well, I got to promote. I got to put it out there. The single. Every time y'all say something to me, I'm just going to say the name of the project. Just keep dropping it each time. Love Pains is the project.
Look, I've been doing a little snooping. It's called Love Pains. We're going to get a little bit more into that in a minute.
Right. Okay.
I just wanted to ask you something. So what is your morning routine? What do you do on a day-to-day basis that just helps you stay on the right track? I know the music industry is challenging. So what is your daily routine?
Well, I definitely meditate. Part of that is actually talking to DT. We've had many conversations because I actually have really bad anxiety attacks all the time, specifically in the past 30 days, just getting prepared to release the project. And sometimes meditation might be internal where I'm talking to myself and talking to God. Other times I talk to people around me who I know love me and support me, like talking to DT. He's the one who introduced me to you guys. And overall, it's just all about understanding that where I'm at is a temporary space. Despite all the pressure that I feel with putting out the project, I'm a religious person, so I feel like you have to give it to God. At the end of the day, there's nothing that I can do as a human to try and direct the path of what's happening. God is in control. And as long as I remember that, and also looking at my child and understanding that she's the whole reason for just everything that I do in general, it helps me to understand that I can do what I need to do to make sure that the music is good. And also, too, music is an emotion. Right. So another part of it is I have to meditate to get out of my own head so I can feel what I need to feel so that when I'm actually recording, it comes out the way that it should. And it's not so like, oh gosh, I got to stop. I got to fix this. I got to do, it has to flow.
That was a very insightful thing that you said, like, music is an emotion, but also life is too. You got to be able to control your emotions in life. And I don't know about the music industry because I never crossed over into it. I can tell just from talking to you all the passion and emotion that actually comes with the music. So I got a question for you. What are you looking for in 2022, and what are your top 3 goals of this year?
Ooh, that's a good question. My 3 top motivations for the year, that is a good freaking question. Well, first is to get through this project. I'm talking about releasing the album, but I'm still not done. I've been working on it for 6 months of a hard grind, 6 months of not only being a parent each and every day or each and every time that I can. That's priority number 1, letting the music be released, letting the world hear it and make their own determination about how they feel about it. My second goal is to get in a better space within myself. We have conversations all the time about mental health. I'm kind of working on my own esteem. Being in the industry and having to put out music puts me in really uncomfortable situations. I'm having to take pictures more often, invite people into my world, which is something prior to, this moment I never did. I was a hermit. Before, at home watching Game of Thrones, eating crabs, that was my relaxation. Now I'm having to not do that and let people come into my work as a way to promote the project. So definitely finding peace within myself and comfort enough to feel confident as an artist and as a woman overall. And my last motivation, to be honest with you, and this may sound shallow, but ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of money now. You know what I'm saying? Make it a little bit extra point. Make it look, because when you're an independent artist, a lot of people understand it's all you. And my team isn't small. I have to, pay for a stylist, pay for makeup artists, pay for my videographer, shout out to Noor, pay for the videographer for music videos, shout out to Lost Media. And so all that comes out of my pocket. These are people who are calling me. We need you to pay us. So it has been hard because you have to look at it as an investment. Like every time I get uncomfortable spending money, I'm like, you know what? I got to invest. But you have to make it worthy enough to what you see it as. So getting a return would not be a bad thing in 2022. If I can get that, that's definitely my third goal for the year.
She want to return on her investment.
Yeah.
But you know what's the best investment you can ever make in life? Is yourself. Yeah. So we can definitely say you on the right path with that one.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had another question for you. Who influences you the most in your life, and like who impacts you the most in your life, and why?
It's gonna go back to my daughter. She has had the luxury of meeting her. She is a breath of fresh air. Her name is Rhea, but her nickname is Ray of Sunshine because she is literally a ray of sunshine. And I mean, this kid looks at me. They tell you when you have a child that your world changes. And it literally changed. I mean, from the moment I found out I was pregnant, my world changed. But when she finally came out and we had an opportunity to see each other face to face, it's like from that moment, I knew that I had to commit everything in my life to her. Like she looks at me like I'm God. There's no flaws. I can wake up in the morning, breath stink, cold crust in my eye, all kind of messed up. But she just loves me like she just loves mom. So first it'll be my child, but I do have to give another response to two other people who are very significant in my life. The other person being my mother. My mom is like the most amazing human being I know. What a lot of people don't know is that music is built in me through my mother. It's actually in my family. My grandfather really loves music, but my mom was a singer. My mom is also an artist. She used to draw portraits of people, got an art scholarship, but she took the conventional route. Life happened and she ended up coming back home from being away from school, kind of getting a conventional degree, working, having me and my sister. In spite of all that, my mom is like the most superior person I know. Like she's somebody who always overcome adversity. She's just a beautiful spirit. Everything about my quirky personality I get from her. Like my mom has never been afraid to just be herself in every environment, and people draw to her because of that. And I've learned that's a gift. Like that's not something everybody has. I have met some stale, day-old bread people, like just no personality whatsoever. So I definitely have to give that to her. And the last person is somebody who is not here with me anymore, and that's my grandmother. My grandmother, Rosalind Cole, God rest her soul. She passed back in 2017. But my grandmother, woo, boy, I tell you, Rosalind Cole, you ain't want to step in her way. Like, I mean, not only was she a boss in the sense that she would curse you out in a heartbeat. About her own, you was gonna get cussed out. But she was also a diva. Like, my grandmother has always dressed to the nine. She always has told me this is what a lady should look like. She'll even give me game when I was younger about how to get a man. Like, well, if you want to get a man, you got to step out like this. When you go to the grocery store, you got to make sure you look like this. And, she'll always be telling me stuff because she had so much wisdom and she was so poised as a woman. And losing her was very detrimental to me. But what she put in me still lives on to this day. And it really plays a huge role in my artistry. So those are definitely, I know y'all asked for who, but it's not a who, it's who all, because it's truly those three people that help me in what I'm doing right now in my life.
So I'm going to go back to your 3 goals for 2022. I heard you mention comfort zone, and we made an episode about comfort zone. I think getting out of your comfort zone is one of the most beautiful things about life because it forces you to become a person you didn't know you could become. So out of all of the changes that you had to go through, what would you say has been the biggest lesson you took from each and every challenge?
The biggest lesson I took was just understanding who I am and what impact I have just as an individual. A lot of times we spend so much of our life seeing ourselves through other people's eyes. Well, I don't feel comfortable because maybe I don't fit in this shell. And now we live in a day of social media. So you really seeing yourself through other people's eyes. Well, I didn't get enough likes. Well, this didn't happen and I'm not popping off this way. And I had a friend, we don't speak as much anymore, but she left me a gem. And when she said this, it really like transition into how I think now. But I used to still struggle with insecurity and not knowing how to step out of my comfort zone. And she would tell me like, Kearsten, you just really do not know who you are and what influence you have. And the minute that you tap into that is the minute you'll tap into your greatness. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, girl, shut up. like you just, friends be trying to hype you up like, oh, friend, you look good knowing that you got a stain on the back of your shirt. But in this case, she was totally right. Like many artists have certain gifts. I have a million gifts coming from those who have influenced me and raised me in my life. And step out of my comfort zone was recognizing that having a big personality, being an entertainer 24/7, because that's what I do. I love to make people feel good, love to make people laugh, love to bring out emotion so that people can get out of their own way. And tapping into that and understanding that that's my impact, that's my influence, that's what I represent every time I step out the door. That has helped me to overcome my discomfort and stepping out of my comfort zone. So I would encourage anybody who's listening, if you walk around, I call it the butt squeeze. If you walk outside and you're like I don't know if you like when you're really uncomfortable and you walk in like the grocery store or something, you like if you ever notice, if you feel like people are looking at you, you'll start to walk funny, like your butt cheeks kind of squeeze in, like you're nervous. But people do it. People really do it. And I can see people like now that I don't do it anymore, I would literally watch people and see them doing it. I'm like, oh my God, they're doing the butt squeeze. So for anybody who's listening, if you ever feel uncomfortable, the best way to not feel uncomfortable is to identify your strengths and play off of that. Everybody has one.
Mm-hmm. Damn, this is good.
Okay.
Y'all can have me on anytime. I can throw me on there. Kearsten Monielle co-host. I'll be ready.
Look, she already speaking.
I already know it.
Look, right. And I'm drinking right now, too. So I'm a little...
she feeling good.
Oh, yeah, she feeling good. She in her zone right now.
Yes, pineapple mojitos. Yes.
I know with a lot of things that's going on in the world right now, and especially with a lot of people just losing their jobs and just anything else. And I know you have a daughter as well. When do you find time to be more productive, to make music? When you find time to balance everything out?
I truly operate best under pressure. And like whenever I'm booking studio time, last minute. Whenever I'm booking mommy time, like let's go to the park, let's go to the mall. Everything is last minute in my life right now. How I'm still awake at this very moment, I have no idea because I'm operating off of like 4 to 5 hours of sleep.
Right.
Your passion.
My passion. Yeah. That is truly feeding my soul. My food, my energy, my Gatorade is my passion, my music. So I don't have as much time and as much organization as I would like, but with each and every day as I get deeper into the preparation of releasing the project, dropping a hint there, Love Pain coming out 2022 by Kearsten Monielle. Yeah. I'm gonna plug everything. Just saying, look, LP, they got Certified Love Boy, LP, Love Pain. But anyway, I do feel like the further I get into the project, the more I'm starting to recognize how much time I need to spend on what, my grades are suffering right now in school. But I know school is a means to an end. So I know I can't be great at everything. I can't be great at my day job. I can't be great at my schooling. I can't be 100% excellent at my parents and 100% excellent at my music. So what's more important, to be honest with you? It's my parents and my music. My job and my schoolwork, they're a little pushed to the side right now. But doing that has allowed me to put the energy in the right places.
I wanted to ask you something else too. What are the things that you learned throughout your journey once you first started? What are the things that you learned about yourself that you didn't know beforehand?
How much of a hard worker I actually am and how much of a people person I am. Like, I didn't know that it was really going to do anything for me in my life. I never really thought it would play a role in how I operate, but I've always been a maneuverer in a way. I believe in leveraging relationships. I believe in scratch my back, scratch your back. And it's really benefited me in music, believe it or not. I mean, DT can tell you, I've only just kind of started really putting things out there as far as getting out of my hermit shell in 30 days. And in 30 days, I've been rocking and rolling, just moving. But it's all because I've been making sure that with the relationships I have and the relationships I build, to make sure that I maximize it to my advantage, and also that I'm available to return, because, you know, it ain't no good to have somebody do something for you and then you're not available when it's time to return the favor. But hard working. I didn't know that I would be able to operate this much in this short period of time.
So is it safe to say that for anybody that's listening, your advice to them would probably be anything that you want to do, you would probably recommend them just to go ahead and do it, right? Because you didn't know those things.
Do it.
Yeah. You didn't know those things until you did that, right?
Correct. You don't. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I found it out in a day. I used to be one of those people who, when I would have an idea about something, I would call somebody, hey, I want to tell you about this idea I have. Hey, I got, you know, it's almost like I was looking for validation.
Right.
Like I'm waiting for somebody else to tell me to start my life. And it kind of hit a point where it's like, just do it. And again, I've been building this project 6 months privately. Only a handful of people know, but I didn't need everybody to know. I just needed to know within myself that I was able to invest in it and to do it. So definitely my advice to anybody is to just do it. Don't talk about it, because people will ruin it anyway, just by default, because they don't know any better. It's better to tell maybe a few as it's happening, but, you know, kind of keep that the racehorse lenses where your blinders are on, and just see the target and just make sure that your everyday motivation is getting to that target.
I think that that's very important, what you said about validation. A lot of people who know me know that I'm big on that. A lot of times in life, that's what people look for. I was at a space like that too. Like, I could really like an outfit. I could really like some shoes. But then when I send a picture to my homeboy and he shoot it down, he had me second guessing, like, nah, bro, don't get them shoes. So it's like, my message to everybody listening also is, if it makes sense to you, you the only person need to make sense to. It shouldn't add up to nobody else. Your vision was given to you for you to see, and not for everybody else to see. So as long as it makes sense to you, it don't need to be validated from nobody else. So it's major that you said that.
Oh, definitely. People are bandwagons anyway. So the same shoes that you were questioning, as soon as you buy them and, you know, you put it out there and everybody starts to like it, now all of a sudden it's, oh, bro, look at this. Oh, I told you that. You know, it's like, what? No, you didn't. But, you know, at the same time, you know, everybody operates off of what they learn. And unfortunately, generationally, a lot of times we pass down insecurity. We pass down, and especially as Black people, we're trained almost to keep your head down, work hard, do what you have to do, punch in, punch out. And that insecurity is just bled into our children's children. And for, you know, all of us to be in a space now where we're all doing something that's absent of what we probably grew up knowing, but just understanding the, like, you know, what's the term I'm using? Understanding the assignment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing what has to be done. Look, I need that TikTok, that little noise that they have on TikTok. I understood the assignment. Like, that's where we're at right now, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. I'm big on that too, especially like telling people certain type of things about me, because the quickest way to kill a big dream is tell it to a small mind.
Yes, sir.
They gonna shoot it down every single time.
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
I said the quickest way to kill a big dream is tell it to a small mind, and I guarantee they'll shoot it down every single time. Just because of the simple fact they might see you doing something that they're not doing, or they know you about to get ready to embark on something great, but they just want you to be at the same level that they are. So you got to really limit yourself. Really, I'm real protective with what I hear and who I have around me. I don't just call anybody and just hear anybody. I don't have no anybody around me. Everybody around me got to be moving on the same frequency that I'm moving on. And it's called elevation. If you're not elevating, I can't mess with you. I'm not being cocky.
No, but it's true.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't need your bad energy bringing me down. You know, I don't get me wrong. You know, you there. You know, you listening ear for some people who might be in a bad space, but it's kind of like that friend you got. You know, y'all are men, so y'all know that friend you got who with the bad girlfriend who like, man, she just keep cheating on me. She just keep doing this. Right? I'm only gonna tell you 2 times. Before I can't talk to you no more. Because now you're just stupid at this point. So you gotta wash out some of the bad seeds. Not that you don't love them, but you don't keep them in your main space, because they can sometimes distract you from the path that God has for you.
Right. And then when it comes time to like moving on, it's like, don't feel bad about it. A lot of us feel obligated, or a lot of us feel like we're entitled to being up for somebody. A lot of times, like you said, I give a person 2 times. Is you gonna get with the program or you not? And if I feel like I have to part ways from you, it just may not be the right time for us to be. It got to make sense. If it don't make sense, I can't have you around me.
Right.
And then, do you know what ignorance is? It's unused knowledge.
I see it every day. I see somebody walking in front of me right now.
It's unused knowledge. Because you have knowledge of something, but you're not acting towards it, or you're not using it.
Right.
So now you ignorant to the fact of what you really have to do. Obviously, you ain't understand the assignment.
Yeah.
Right. I understood the assignment.
But I got a question.
Hold on. And then Love Pains 2022. Here's one up. Okay.
Look, I'm about to ask you about that. So we already know the name of the project, but what actually inspired it?
Well, your girl ain't never had a good love life.
It's been up and down.
Like a roller coaster.
It's been down. It's been really down. But it's not the worst thing in the world. In my past and what has inspired Love Pains is, let's start from the beginning, make it quick. I had a child. I was with my daughter's father. And actually this song on my project called Potential. It's a groove, but the messaging is great because it talks about women who, or anybody who, lives off of a person's potential and forgets the fact that who they are right now is no good for you. And if you spend so much time working on somebody's potential, you lose yourself. And that's exactly what happened with me with my child's father. And so that relationship dissolved. And for the whole 2021, I had the opportunity to start dating. And I had no idea what I was doing. I made a lot of mistakes. I dated one guy who was crazy as hell, was really trying to, control me and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's not for me. Move on. I dated another guy who I really liked. So there was a lot of heartbreak there because I was not prioritized. Nobody wants to be anybody's second choice. And he was a little uncertain about me. Fast forward, that's kind of the trend right now in dating. A lot of people are like, well, I want to deal with you, but I kind of don't want to fully commit, or I'm not sure. And so it just kind of hit a point where I was just like, there's a lot of people who are feeling this same way. It's a lot of people who are in this space. Single is a great time to embrace, but it's very difficult because the spirit of loneliness sometimes can cause you to make really bad decisions. The spirit of loneliness can lead you to codependency. The spirit of loneliness can lead you in the bed next to somebody where 2 weeks from now you can be like, why in the hell was I laid up next to you?
What was I thinking?
Right. Well, you driving downtown Jackson, but they got a sign up. You're like, hold on, what happened now? Your profile didn't look like that on Black, but
right.
But nonetheless, I just felt like my project speaks to the underdogs in love. Life is not Instagram. Relationships are not social media. Relationships are not celebrity. Relationships are regular, day-to-day, in and out. They are strained for many reasons: finance, children, or just lack of personal self-esteem, and you bleed that into your relationship. So I felt like this project needs to tap into every emotion of that, and it does. And I feel like music, and the response that I've gotten from people who have heard it, know that the music resonates so much with them, and that's why they love it, and that's why I think more people are going to love it when they finally get to hear it.
So I know for a fact that being lonely takes a powerful person. You have to possess so much power in order to be alone. Like you say, loneliness will have you doing some strange things that like later on you'll like regret. So when you came across all of those failed relationships, what gave you the drive to keep trying? Because a lot of times people, when something isn't going their way, they tend to give up. So what made you say, just forget giving up, I'm gonna keep trying at this?
Well, it kind of was a opposite and a negative and a positive to it, because I still try in the sense that my spirit is open to whatever love God puts before me. But on the opposite end of that spectrum, me accepting the season of loneliness in my life puts me in a position where I can be a lot smarter about because God only puts a certain number of people in your life that should be there.
Right.
And when you're not really like recognizing or you're not adapting to the season of self-preservation, the first person who comes in your face, you're like, oh, that's them. And it's not. Right. So understanding that this is my time to bring about what I need to bring about my own life for myself has allowed me to kind of eliminate wasted time and wasted space. At one point, I had a Tinder account. At one point, I had a Black. And at one point, just being alone and being bored, it was that time where I'm like, all right, let me bust open this app. Let me see what's going on. Let me swipe left, swipe right. Like, oh, Fred looking kind of good. Okay, let me entertain Fred. But at the end of the day, all of that is such a waste of time, because I'm not saying you can't find love in those spaces, but I honestly don't think love is something to be found. I think that love is something that is brought before you at the time where you're ready. And I don't want to poison anybody else. I don't want for somebody who's good enough to come in my space before I'm ready, because all I'm going to do is put the same feelings that I had that somebody else put on me on them. So I refuse to do that. So right now it's all about Kearsten Monielle, Love Pain 2022. Silly Love being dropped this month. Plug that. It's all about that right now. And the right person, they're going to come when they come, and I'm definitely going to know them when they get here.
Right.
And I got a question with it. I know pretty much everybody wondering now, since we were just jumping into the conversation of relationships, is Miss Kearsten Monielle single, and with the album name Love Pains, what is a deal breaker for you?
Well, I'm just saying, I don't like unmotivated men. Don't come to me broken. No offense, but I ain't your mama. I'm not here to fix you. At the end of the day, I feel like while I do have time to take the time to focus on my mental health, I can't take on mine and take on yours. I feel like it should be a give and take. You should be at the point where you come to me and step to me. I'm not saying you got to be fully ready or fully, because everybody's not going to be rich. Everybody's not going to be perfect or picture perfect. But as long as your spirit is well, as long as you're whole as a human being, you have a direction for your life and you're actively pursuing that direction. Right. And you don't devalue me in the process. You don't bring about chaos and disruption in my life. Right. I could definitely deal with you. But deal breakers are definitely, if you hit me up, hey mama, what you doing? Nope. If you got more than two kids, especially for more than one woman, nah, that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, you don't make
red flag.
Right. Red flag. You ain't figured out the first time, and this is the same for men. I mean, with women, this is me speaking to my ladies here. I know y'all are men on this podcast, but women, we gotta be selective. Don't have kids for everybody. I'm not saying go abort them, because that's not always the best solution, but don't give your body and yourself so easily to people who are unworthy. Recognize those deal breakers, set those boundaries, and lock in on them. You'll never go wrong when you know what you're willing to deal with and you stick by it and you don't bend. Because the minute you bend is the minute you break. Right. So definitely. So I no extra baby daddies and extra baggage happening over here. No, sir.
Right. Well, I agree with that 100%. And especially the people that you have in your life, you want to gain some sort of value from them. You just don't want to have people around just leeching, just have their hand out, just expecting something in return, but not giving anything, not giving any type of value out. So you definitely want to learn from each other. Any this is in any relationship, friendship, best friends. But you want to learn from that person, because when you learn, there's room to grow. And it's especially like that, especially in a relationship, is room to grow.
Definitely. So my lover, whoever you are out there, I hope you listen. And anybody who thought you were my lover, I hope you also listen, so you don't come step to me and get upset. I can tell you no. Like, refer to this episode, okay?
Look, it's one thing that I like when you had said about this. I see that in this generation right here, a lot of people actually marry for money or whether it be love. You really shouldn't marry or be with anybody just because of those two. If you're going to be with somebody, you should see something like in a long term with them. Right. So now I'm talking about vision, and vision go along with values. Like, what values and morals do you have? It shouldn't be about love. I know for a fact that love sometimes can fade. Right. Yeah. And money is going to always leave. But if you see a vision is clear. It's like 4K. I think 5K. They just came out with 5K, so it's that Ultra. Clear. Yeah.
Ultra 5K.
Well, honestly, speaking off of that, DT, like, the crazy thing is like, if you think about it, so you make a friend, right? You find somebody, and all of a sudden y'all connect. A lot of what makes you guys connect is your common interest and your vision. You find something that you have in common with that person, and then y'all also see yourself in the same positions later down the road, and that's how you become best friends. But then in relationships, we start off with attraction as being the first thing that leads us. And I feel like that's where we go wrong. At the end of the day, there are so many people that I've met who are, especially in this industry, or I don't want to say just music, but in the entertainment industry altogether, who are working people, hustling people who I learned things from day in and day out, and stepping into this lane, which another thing too, we sometimes get limited based on proximity.
Right.
If you grow up in an environment where this is all you see, that might be all you know. You grow up in an environment where everybody divorced, everybody a baby mom or whatever, you get stuck in that world, and stepping out of the comfort zone, being exposed to different people in different stages of life, different hustles, it puts you in a position to recognize, or not only to feed off of those strengths, but to recognize what you truly want in a partner, and making sure the person you're with is actually a partner.
Right.
And not just, oh, you look good, or oh, you got some good, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I always tell people, you don't need someone to complete you. You just need someone to basically accept you completely. Like, ladies, if you listen to this right now, you are a piece of fine china. Don't let anyone treat you like a paper plate.
Right.
I'm just going to put that out there, because if it really doesn't make you happy, then why you keep choosing? Why?
Right. But that's where codependency comes in. It's a lot of people who are ridiculously codependent. I've met people, I've been that person where you just feel like you need someone else to keep you going.
Right.
You need someone else to tell you you're pretty. You need someone else to tell you that, oh, you did a good job, or oh, if you don't get that validation from that person, your whole world is crumbled. And it's like, come on now. God didn't put us here to lean on other people. God said to trust in him. So at the end of the day, if you remember that and you recognize that as your whole, whether you believe in God or you don't, just knowing that there's something else greater that's leading you in whatever path you're going down, it'll help save you from those paper plate kind of people. Because I have definitely been somebody's paper plate, and I'm like, hold on, what? You're like, how did I get here? Like, when did I become this person? And once you hit rock bottom, the only place you can go is up. And that's where I was, and that's where Love Pains led me. Love Pains 2022.
Knew it was coming. But I like how you said attraction is where you go wrong, because a lot of times people don't understand that it's a lot of people that's attractive out here that's broken. It's a lot of girls out here that look good, they ain't got their mental together. It's a lot of guys out here that may be attracted to females that they don't have their mental together. Like you said, you ran across a dude who was real controlling. That's a trait that a lot of females dislike in dudes. And y'all was talking to the females, I'm gonna talk to the fellas, right? Because I feel like it's not enough of dudes who set boundaries. You get what I'm saying? I feel like dudes are raised to go for whatever looks good to them. That's why you got so many dudes out here like with multiple girlfriends. Like, that's just how we was raised. Right? Like when you talking to your nephew, the first question you ask him was, how many girlfriends you got in school? You got 2, bro. You doing good. You know what I'm saying? So we be raised to operate in a different way. But I just want all the fellas who listening to know that it's okay to set boundaries. When you coming across a female gonna have boundaries, and it's okay for you to have boundaries. There's certain things, there's certain traits in a female that you may not like. Stand on that. It's like you say, it goes past the attraction. We gotta be on the same frequency. We gotta have the same visions. When it comes time to cutting off, like I said earlier, don't be afraid to do that. Y'all may just, the seasons y'all in may be 2 totally different things right now, and that's okay. But fellas, we gotta learn to set boundaries and stand on that as well.
I want to touch back on what you just said about us being attracted to what we see. A real man is going to connect with their woman's soul, but only a boy will connect with their woman's body. That's what we do. And I even suffered from that. I mean, I'm a dude myself.
Right.
But this generation is getting scarier. It's getting scarier and scarier by the day. We don't set boundaries. We go for what looks good to us. But there's a lot of men out here that don't set boundaries at all. Like,
they don't.
I'm just really thinking about that for real.
Yeah, set boundaries.
Well, if I could plug something real quick too, just as a side note, I won't say the person's name, but I actually had a guy set a boundary on me, and it was kind of like a wake up call. I met a guy at one point, somebody who motivated this project, who I had a very strong connection with. He and we could talk about anything. He was he was an intellectual, so he definitely stimulated my mind, and we both had a child. We had that in common, and this guy actually was formerly married. He was divorced for like 3 years. Throughout our getting to know each other, basically, I think that maybe he identified that I'm no good for you, because as we were speaking, he was starting to, he kept referring back to his marriage. Oh, when my marriage, this what happened, this what happened. And I remember I told him, like, I ain't trying to be funny, but I don't want to talk about your ex-wife all the time. You know what I'm saying? But he was able to identify, like, I don't think I'm really ready to date you. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the Playboy phase. And so thank God he actually cut the umbilical cord, because at the time I wasn't strong enough to see it myself and make that detachment. But not a lot of men, not a lot of women can identify when they're not in a space where they should be engaging with good people, and they pump that poison into the wrong person. You miss the opportunity. So boundaries are 1,000% necessary, and recognizing your current flaws, stuff that you need to work on.
Yeah,
you know?
right. That's only going to make you stronger. I mean, with a car, you have a vehicle, right? If you know that your left tire is always the one that goes out, you're going to always keep an eye on that left tire. Right. So it's the recognition, and it's the steps to make it better. That's all that matters, is you know what you need to work on, and you got steps in place to make that better.
And I think I had heard that you said that I already know you're a mother, and I know you're a single mother. I know it's probably a lot of single mothers probably listen to this podcast right now. So what are some of the challenges that you have to face with it?
I think at the end of the day, the biggest challenge is, as a mother, sometimes you feel guilt. You go out, you do stuff. You might feel like I'm not doing enough as a mother. Or you have some mothers who completely go through an identity crisis, and sometimes it can look like neglect to the child, not intentionally, but just because you take on so much responsibility as a single mother, where you're trying to balance being a mommy and also understanding yourself postpartum. So I would definitely say the biggest thing to consider as a mom or a single mom is that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. The idea is that as you're learning in your single motherness, that you're making improvement. And also, too, one thing, and this is my one major point I do want to make, is that you don't let the need or the thirst for wanting to have a man in the household drive your decisions as a mother. And what I mean by that is I know many women who will invite less worthy men into their environment with their children just because they're so determined to have a man around, and that's the wrong man, and he does more harm than good. Sometimes it is okay to just be alone, because you don't want to make those mistakes, because that taps into the generational issue. Now this child, you're now allowing them to see and experience and to understand relationships in a way that they wouldn't have had to if you would have kind of like been accepted of being alone. So I would definitely say make the mistakes, learn from the mistakes, but understand that individualism as a parent is not always the worst thing. Sometimes those, excuse my French, ain't shit men or the ain't shit baby daddies need to stay right where they're at. You know what I'm saying? You know, they don't need to come in and disrupt any of the building that you're doing with your child until they're ready.
Right. And I know you was talking about the importance of mental health earlier. What's some ways that we can prevent mental health issues or mental health problems?
I would say never hesitate to seek counsel. I actually do take medication daily for my anxiety attacks. Like I said, they're pretty bad. Never hesitate to speak spiritual health. When you disconnect that cord with God, it is real. When you stray away from him, you feel that, like, I mean, it's like an eruption, you know. So understanding where you are spiritually, understanding the resources that you have available, and making sure that you have the relationships around you that'll get you there. And I'm not talking about that friend that you talk to all the time and y'all just both just in a down mood and, oh, I'm so broken. Oh, I'm so broken too. Sometimes that can add to the damage. But you also have to have those friends around who you can talk to them a little bit and then they're going to say, all right, friend, we've been talking for 45 minutes about the same thing. So what are we going to do to fix this? Or what's the solution here? Sometimes you need those kind of people because they'll help you to get out of your own head. Because sometimes we make things more of an issue than it really actually needs to be. People are people. And I don't take things personally at this point. If a guy don't like me or he does dirty by me, that's just something that he need to work on with him. At this point right now, I don't see it as a personal shot. I see it as a golden opportunity for me to learn and then adapt that to the next person who enters in my life.
That was a good answer. Look, you touched me on that one.
Well, you know, we be having our deep conversations. And actually, guys, I have my videographer here, Nora. I do want to shout him out at Suda Boy Films. And we're actually about to film right now. So I did want to stay on, but I do have to step out if that's okay. So I don't know if you wanted to ask me a final thought. I don't know if y'all end in prayer. You know, you want me to speak in tongues? I could do that too. You know, it's totally up to you how you want to do it.
Okay,
my grandma taught me.
We got two more questions for you, and then we're going to end it off. How big is self-love to you?
Everything. At the end of the day, who's going to love you but you the most outside of your children? And even then they grow to turn into, you know, little bratty things certain points in time. But self-love is everything because this industry it sucks you. You know, that people, everybody here has a ulterior motive. As a woman, a lot of times guys look at you as just, a body. And actually, if I can plug this real quick, a part of the Kearsten Monielle brand, for people who are not familiar, going back to that first question you asked me, is that I am a natural woman in the sense that I make sure that when in my music and in my representation of my music, that people see me in my natural. I have short purple hair. I might rock some braids, might rock some dreads. I love the skin that I'm in. And just like India Arie taught me when I was a child, I want to teach all the other young ladies coming up that your inner beauty is everything. You don't need to maximize it, change it,
Right.
love yourself. I'm also not the skinniest person in the world. So I love Tim's too. She's a singer as well, because she also represents what a full figure woman looks like. And I'm a short full figure woman. Sometimes I gotta extend my neck when I'm taking pictures because sometimes the neck disappears. But you know what I'm saying? But I'm real and self-love and understanding who you are, what you represent, and that the messaging that you put out, it lasts longer than you do. So I make sure that everything I do is intentional and make sure that everybody understands that being a natural woman is not a bad thing, although people don't use it as much anymore these days.
All right, then I got a quick question. Would you rather?
Yes, sir. Ooh.
Yeah, this one of those decision makers right there. Would you rather make a record that sells 500,000 copies, or would you rather make a record that influences 5,000 people and other artists, and why?
Definitely well, you know what? I'm not mad at either one. Preferably the second. But if I sell 500 copies, that's 500 people that I can
500K.
impact. Hold on, say it again.
500K. That's like 500,000.
Oh, see what had happened was, well, that changes things. I'm still gonna go with the second answer. I think influence is everything, and I think that artists who understand their impact and their influence last longer than anybody.
Right.
You got John Lennon, who's dead, but this man is still influential in his music and in his artistry, more influential than any of the other Beatles. So I think the impact is what I'm focusing on. That's part of the reason why I want to pod with you guys. It's part of the reason why I've been networking with so many people to get my voice out there to be heard, because I believe that I'm an impactful person. I believe that this is a part of one of the many gifts that God gave me. And I want to make sure that people understand Kearsten and the representation of the brand, and not just I'm a singer. I have met plenty of great singers who are not the greatest people, or don't have the greatest things to offer. I think it's a extra layer of beauty when you're able to influence people's lives to add value to the world, and not to continue to scrub that same nasty messaging that makes girls insecure and feel like they got to go to the doctor and go change this and put this on and buy this weave. I mean, my last message to these ladies is, if you ain't got the money for the weave or the nails, or don't do it. You'll be surprised how many men. I'm not saying it don't look good, but don't lose the last piece of yourself, feeling like I have no identity if I don't have the things to camouflage the insecurities I have.
Right,
Your identity is the skin you live in, what God is giving you, and whether that is with a weave or without a weave, or with makeup or without makeup, you are still phenomenal. Women are phenomenal. Women are powerful. Women are fine china. Plug the DT. And, as my final message, I'm going to say, if you want to hear what all that is about and more, listen to Love Pains being released spring 2022. And most importantly, listen to Silly Love, which is being released. The video is great, and listen to it and hear the message and understand that I have been in your shoes, I'm walking in your shoes, and I am strong enough to tell my story that some of you all may not be as comfortable to tell in my music and my messaging.
All right, last thing. Tell people where they can reach you.
Well. Everything is Kearsten Monielle. That is K. Well, they butchered my name. I have a problem with that.
We got you, Kearsten.
Well, side note, DT always calls me superstar every time we talk. That's what I love about his motivation. He always answers the phone. He's like, "What up, superstar?" So I'll let him slide on that. But everybody can reach me at Kearsten Monielle. That is K like Kappa, ears, like the literal ears, and the number 10, TENKEA, RSTEN. I'm going to spell it one more time, KEARSTEN. And Monielle, MONIELLE. I'm going to spell it all together so the people in the back can hear. That is KEARSTENMONIELLE. The first girl you see on Instagram with purple hair, that is me. Make sure you follow, that you share if you care. And actually, for the album release party, which is going to be pretty lit, I'm not going to tell you where it's going to be at, because if I do, y'all going to fall out of your chair. But it is a really, really dope album release party. The way that I'm going to have it going is the first 100 people to get at least 10 people to share my music automatically get entries. So remember that, so that you're ready for the spring 2022 drop. And you'll see all the information on my social at Kearsten Monielle.
Oh man, like I just told y'all, this is gonna be a very impactful interview. Like this is truly, truly a superstar. Now the world get to see what I see. So, like I said, you are truly a superstar to me. And basically, you just came on this podcast and you went in, like you blew it out the water. But I just want to say, we fully appreciate you, and you are definitely a part of the family. Welcome to the Mind Report.
Oh, no, look, I'm super grateful. Anytime you want me on, or anytime we could talk about, I mean, it's just so much out here to talk about and discuss. And whenever I have free time, I'm here to support, just like you supported me. I truly appreciate the opportunity that you gave me today. I mean, it was fate, the way that we met and being able to discuss our passions and blend them together. So anything I could do, let me know. Anything that you can do for me, don't hesitate, because the sister need help, you know what I'm saying? But yes, no, I'm really happy, and I'm really excited for everybody to hear the episode. So make sure you send me the info so I can share it on my platform as well.
All right. So whoever's listening to this right now, we hope you took a lot of reasons to smile, boost your self-esteem and your confidence and attitude, and chase your damn dreams. Like, after listening to this powerful and thought-provoking Right Table interview, hopefully we added some type of value to your mind so you can go out there and check your thoughts. I'm DT.
I'm Ken.
And I'm Caleb.
And we are the Mind Report, and we are out.
If you enjoyed this podcast episode, make sure you share it with someone else.
And be on the lookout for new episodes. And make sure you subscribe now.
This is the Mind Report.
And we are out.